Class 11th, Subject Physics, 8th chapter, Sound. From this chapter, let us see the mathematical expression of a wave. Mathematical expression of a wave, that is, what will be the equation for the mechanical waves that we will have to find out. So this will be the mathematical expression for a wave. As progressive waves are periodic in space as well as time, therefore we need a function of both time t and the position x. This function will describe the shape of the wave at any instant of time. A sinusoidal progressive wave can be described by the sinusoidal function, that is in the form of a sine wave. For a transverse progressive wave, the position of the particle of the medium is described by the fixed value of position x, and the displacement from the equilibrium position can be described by y. So in case of the transverse progressive wave, the position of the particle of medium is described by the fixed value of x, and the displacement from the equilibrium position can be described by y. And such type of sinusoidal wave, that is the wave which is in the form of sine curve, will be given as, that is sinusoidal wave is given as yxt, that is displacement y at any position x and instant of time t will be given as a sine kx minus omega t plus phi, kx minus omega t plus phi. Now at a particular instant of time t is equal to t0, t is equal to t0, displacement y at xt0 will be given as a sine kx minus omega t0 plus phi, a sine kx minus omega t0 plus phi, which will be given as a sine kx plus constant, a sine kx plus constant. On the other hand, also at a fixed position, x equal to x0, the displacement y at x0t will be given as a sine kx0 minus omega t plus phi, a sine kx0 minus omega t plus phi, which will be given as a sine into constant minus omega t, a sine into constant minus omega t. Now if any wave is traveling along positive direction of x axis, if any wave is traveling along positive direction of x axis, then displacement y xt will be given as a sine kx minus omega t plus phi, kx minus omega t plus phi. And if the wave is traveling along negative direction of x axis, then displacement y xt will be equal to a sine kx plus omega t plus phi, a sine kx plus omega t plus phi. So these two equations will represent the displacement of that particle along positive direction of x axis and along negative direction of x axis. And now let us see the next point, that is speed of traveling waves. If any wave is traveling, so for example if you consider the mechanical waves, then the speed of the mechanical waves will depend upon two factors, that is the elastic properties of the medium and second point will be the density of the medium. So the elastic properties of the medium and the density of the medium, these two factors will decide the speed of the traveling wave, that is mechanical progressive waves. And therefore we know that there are two types of progressive waves, that is transverse waves and longitudinal waves. And therefore let us see first what will be the speed of transverse waves. What is the speed of transverse waves? And therefore the speed of the wave, that is transverse wave, is described by the restoring force produced in the medium when it is disturbed from its equilibrium position. So restoring force is responsible to determine the speed of the transverse wave in that medium. Then the speed depends upon the internal properties like mass density of the medium. The speed of these waves will depend upon the internal properties like mass density of the medium. Mass density means mass per unit length here we will consider, and therefore the waves produced on the string, when any stretched string is there, then the waves produced on the string are transverse waves. In this case, the restoring force is provided by the tension T created in the string. So when any string is stretched, at that time tension will be created in it, and that tension created will provide the necessary restoring force for that string. And therefore the linear mass density of the string is determined in this case from the mass of the string m and its length L. So if capital M represents mass of the string and capital L represents length of the string, then the linear mass density small m is equal to capital M upon capital L, and therefore the speed of the transverse wave will be given by the formula. So in case of transverse waves, phi is equal to square root of T by M. Phi is equal to square root of T by M, where T is the tension in the string and M is linear mass density, that is given by M is equal to M by L, that is mass per unit length. So this formula phi is equal to square root of T by M will give the speed of the transverse waves. On the other hand, if you consider the second, that is speed of longitudinal waves. So if you consider the longitudinal waves, then in case of longitudinal waves, the particles of the medium vibrate or oscillate forward and backward along the direction of wave propagation. Now these oscillations or vibrations of these particles along the direction of propagation of the wave will cause the compression and rarefaction which travel through the medium, and it will possess the property of elasticity. It possesses property of the elasticity. Then the speed of sound in solids and liquids is greater than in gases, and the speed of longitudinal wave in an ideal gas will be given as, so the speed of longitudinal wave in an ideal gas will be given as phi equal to square root of E by rho. Phi is equal to square root of E by rho, where E represents modulus of elasticity of that medium, modulus of elasticity of the medium, and rho is the density of that medium. So these are the two formulae for the speed of transverse wave, that is phi equal to square root of T by M, and speed of longitudinal wave is equal to square root of E by rho. And now let us see the next point, that is Newton's formula for velocity of sound in air. So first of all, the velocity of sound in air was found by Newton, and therefore let us see Newton's formula for velocity of sound in air. Now the sound waves travel through the medium in the form of compressions and rarefactions. Then the density of the medium is greater at the compression, while it is smaller in the place of rarefaction. So as sound waves are traveling in the form of alternate compression and rarefaction, the density of the medium will be greater at the compression, since the particles of the medium are closely packed, and while in case of rarefaction the density will be less because the particles of the medium are widely separated, and hence velocity of sound according to Newton is given by the formula. The formula is phi equal to square root of E by rho. Phi is equal to square root of E by rho. That formula will give the velocity of sound in air. Now Newton considered that during the propagation of the sound waves there is no change in the average temperature of the medium. So when compression gets converted into rarefaction or rarefaction into compression, that is, during the propagation of the sound waves there is no change in the average temperature of the medium, that is, temperature of the medium remains constant, and hence sound wave propagation in air is an isothermal process. Isothermal process, that means when the sound waves are traveling through that medium or air, at that time the temperature of the medium remains constant, that is, this is the isothermal change, that is, temperature remains constant. And then if you consider the volume density of air, it will be determined under isothermal change, and it is called as isothermal bulk modulus. So here it is constant of elasticity, and that is volume elasticity E of air, which will be determined under isothermal change, and if it is determined under isothermal change, then it is called as isothermal bulk modulus and is equal to atmospheric pressure P. So here isothermal bulk modulus E is equal to atmospheric pressure P, and hence the speed of sound in air is given by the formula phi is equal to square root of P by rho. Phi is equal to square root of P by rho, where P is atmospheric pressure. But we know the formula for atmospheric pressure, that atmospheric pressure is given by the formula P is equal to HdG. P is equal to HdG, where H is the height, that is 0.76 meter of mercury. So this is the height of mercury column, whose value is 0.76 meter. Similarly, D, that is the density of mercury, is 13,600 kilogram per meter cube for mercury. So D will represent density of mercury, and which is 13,600 kilogram per meter cube. Similarly, G, acceleration due to gravity, is equal to 9.8 meter per second square, and rho, that is the density of air, is equal to 1.293 kilogram per meter cube for air. So for air, density rho is equal to 1.293. Now putting all these values in this equation, we will get phi is equal to square root of HdG upon rho. Phi is equal to square root of HdG upon rho, that is equal to square root of 0.76 into 13,600 into 9.8 divided by 1.293 If you calculate this value, then the speed of sound in air comes out to be 279.9 meter per second. But the actual value of the speed of sound in air is 332 meter per second. 332 meter per second, and therefore this value calculated by Newton's formula is nearly 16% less as compared with the standard value of the velocity of sound in air, and therefore this value calculated by using Newton's formula is 16% less as compared with the standard value, and therefore this formula was corrected further by Laplace's, and therefore now we will have to study Laplace's correction to formula for velocity of sound in air. That is, Newton's formula for velocity of sound in air was corrected by Laplace's, and therefore we will have to now study Laplace's correction to Newton's formula. And therefore, according to Laplace's, the formation of the compression and rarefaction is not a slow process, but it is a rapid process. So formation of compression and rarefaction is not a slow process, but it is a rapid process. Then heat is produced during compression and is lost during the rarefaction. So according to Laplace, it was stated that during the formation of compression, heat will be produced there, and during the formation of rarefaction, heat will be lost there. That means the temperature of the medium will continuously change. As there is production as well as loss of heat energy during the formation of compression and rarefaction, therefore temperature of the medium will not remain constant, and therefore it will not be the isothermal change. Now this heat does not get sufficient time for dissipation, and due to this the total heat content remains the same. Such a process is called as adiabatic process. So in this process, adiabatic change is considered, and hence adiabatic elasticity is there and not the isothermal elasticity. So according to Laplace's, there is no any isothermal change, and hence there is no isothermal elasticity, but it will be adiabatic elasticity. Now the adiabatic modulus of elasticity of air will be given as, so adiabatic bulk modulus, which is called, that is for adiabatic modulus of elasticity, adiabatic modulus of elasticity is equal to gamma p, is equal to gamma p, and therefore where that gamma is Cp by Cv, that is gamma is the ratio of two specific heat capacities, that is specific heat capacity at constant pressure and specific heat capacity at constant volume for the gas, that is Cp by Cv, whose value is equal to 1.41, and therefore by putting the values in this equation we can write by Laplace's correction, velocity phi will be equal to square root of gamma p by rho. Phi is equal to square root of gamma p by rho, that will be written as square root of gamma p is h dg and upon rho, and therefore putting the values of all these factors we will get phi is equal to square root of 1.41 into 0.76 into 13,600 into 9.8 divided by 1.293 divided by 1.293. If you calculate this value, then it comes out to be phi equal to 332.3 meter per second. 332.3 meter per second, and this value of velocity of sound in air is in good agreement with the experimental value.